Hello, everybody. Welcome along to your Monday night Rangers Rabble Women's Show. I'm Brian, the host. I'm here back after Wolf has been helping me out hosting, so I am here. And to join me tonight, I have got Car, Demi, and Alan. Car, how are we?
Yeah, very well. Much better than I thought I would be after the Old Firm. So yeah, happy.
Absolutely. Demi, how are we?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. A rare weekend where Rangers don't somehow ruin it, so delighted.
Absolutely. And Alan, I dare say that's going to be a trio of the same answer?
Very much so. Didn't know what to expect going into yesterday's game, but a thoroughly enjoyable day. So good weekend. Can't really ask for much more than that.
Absolutely not. And first of all, I will get it out of the way. I was horribly wrong with my prediction. I'm glad I was. I said 2-1 defeat, and that was the furthest thing from what happened. So I am absolutely delighted. And Wolf informed me just before we started, he predicted 2-0, so he was spot on. I don't know how, Cara, you said something similar to me, or 2-1, yes. Demi, you said win as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so last Monday my prediction was 3-2 us, and then when we did a pod on Friday, I changed it to 2-1 us.
I couldn't have been further wrong. Alan, what did you go with?
I'd predicted 1-0, so I at least got the clean sheet right. So
and the win. You got the win as well, so
I was worried it was my heart rule in my head a wee bit, but listen, we'll go on it. It was very, very much went to plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, we're reacting to the result yesterday, Celtic 0, Rangers 2. Car, was that a performance that surprised you but pleased you at the same time?
Oh, massively. I mean, I was so confused by it at half-time. I just couldn't believe how good we were, to be honest. I think I turned to Dem and was like, what's that? Like, how's that happened kind of thing? How are we good all of a sudden, missing the players that we're missing? But they really showed up for each other. It wasn't a perfect first half, but it was good. We played well, good passages of play, good passing. We looked solid in midfield and defence. So yeah, I was very happy with it, but very surprised.
Absolutely. I mean, Demi, it wasn't very positive on Friday, was it? We were a bit doom and gloom on Friday. Well, I certainly was. I mean, you were maybe slightly more positive, but I mean, it was hard to see where a performance like that was coming from, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing on Friday was, and again, glad I was wrong, but, my biggest thing on Friday was the players that we had brought in having, limited senior minutes. But, like it says in the comments, I thought Shinji was player of the match by a country mile, and Jess Pegram, before she went off, I thought she was very, very well playing back there. So thankfully I was wrong there, and they appeared to know more than what I thought they did. So
absolutely. I mean, Alan, you could go right through that team yesterday, and everybody got a pass mark, and there was a lot of them would have got more than 8s out of 10. A couple of them got 9s. It was hard to pick a player of the match because there were so many. But I mean, I do agree with Sniper that Shinji was instrumental. I mean, she was throwing some passes around that pitch just like with ease. I think she was comfortable on the ball. She never got, she just oozed class, didn't she?
She did, and for that reason, I would disagree. It was hard to pick a player of match. I thought it was easy, but I don't think we had any passengers. Everybody played their part from Jenna right through to Mia and Katie up front, and it was good to see a bit of versatility with Mia and Katie switching positions midway through the first half, and that really did pay dividends. So I think everybody shone, including the girls that came off the bench, and put their shoulder to the wheel and made sure we got over the line. But Shinji Kim was, by a distance, the best player on the park yesterday.
Absolutely. I mean, that was an interesting tactic, wasn't it, Car? That she decided to put Mia McCauley up front and Katie dropped back. trying to utilise that pace. I mean, every time the ball went over the top of Celtic defence, they were panicking because they realised that Mia was either on them or going to be on them shortly, and they didn't have much time to sort of think or do anything with the ball. And that was a great tactic, wasn't it?
Yeah, and probably one we should have utilised more last season, to be honest, and have kind of Kirsty Howitt up front with Auckland. But if that's the way that Leanne's going to do it might be a bold strategy and it might actually pay off because Mia does have the pace when she wants to. Sometimes she can kind of, well, a bit like Wilco, just kind of jog a little bit when they can't really seem to be too bothered and maybe the ball's not near them. But yeah, it worked fantastically. Took a little bit, I think, for them to both get used to. I think kind of struggled first half a little bit with it, but once they got up to speed, Mia seemed to just on the afterburners for half of the game and just ran at them, which, as we said for the longest time, if you run at their back line, I won't say what I normally say, but they crumble because they're just not very good. It seems like this new play that they've got is just the same as it was last season.
Absolutely. The team yesterday, obviously, the team 11 was Fife in goals. McCleary, Pegram, Hill, Docherty, Shinji, Griffiths, Macaulay, Hay, Arnott, and Wilkinson. I mean, Demi, there wasn't really much surprises there, was there? Because the numbers aren't exactly big. I mean, there was only five outfield players on the bench. So, numbers were low. So there was not much that Leanne could have done much different, could she?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that, surprised me a little bit was when the teams came out is that we started all three wingers. Me and Dad had a conversation on the way down about how I wasn't sure that we would start all three of them because, there's no one to come on and replace them. But apart from that, no, when the team came out, not much shocked me. Again, the only other thing was, playing Pegram from the start. Thankfully that paid off for, unfortunately, our game was cut short, but for the time she was on there, it proved to work. So, yeah, other than that, there wasn't really much of a surprise for me.
No. And Alan, I mean, the only other one you could have maybe swapped out would have been Lefay coming on for one of the wingers. Being a natural 10, that would have been the only obvious choice to sort of change anything, wouldn't it?
Yeah, listen, definitely Camille gave options from the bench. I think Fallon can probably comfortably play one up, but certainly options were a wee bit reduced, seeing Jess forced off after half an hour and Ailey coming on. So it would be nice to see a bit more options. And I think, if we're going to play those three sort of wingers and the starting team, Laura Berry's probably going to find herself getting opportunities to play, but playing more from the wider areas, which will be important for Laura's development. She needs time on the pitch, but certainly I think we still need a bit of reinforcement before the window closes tomorrow night. Well,
yeah, we'll come on to that later. Absolutely, definitely. But I mean, good start, Car, yesterday, wasn't it? It was a positive start. We were aggressive. We were, very attacking. The intent was there from the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we had some really good clear-cut chances, which is always nice when we start games well and we're creating things. We just couldn't find the back of the net, but we were just absolutely on top of them. I think they had one really clear chance in the first half, but they didn't really have anything else. And I think both teams looked a little bit scared to lose it. There was a bit tense from both sides, but they were just kicking everyone that was in front of them and hauling them down, doing the usual stuff that they do, to be fair, but seemed particularly aggressive when it came to our young players. I know that's 90% of our team at this point, but the new players especially, they were kicking lumps out of Jess and Shinji and hauling Wilco back and just the usual stuff because they couldn't match us for pace and for playability. But we took a little bit to settle into it. But once we got going, we were just absolutely on fire. I mean, we should have really been probably 2-0 up at half time, but we just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Paul's just saying, Demi, that block from Nick Dock, from the winger, Celtic winger, I mean, that was an unbelievable block. She came out of nowhere and just threw herself, and it was some block, wasn't it?
Yeah, in real time, I think we were giving all the kudos to Jenna, because Jenna obviously came out at the same time that, Nick was there. So in real time, we were all saying, "Oh, what a save!" But having seen it back in the highlights, that just sort of shows the experience that we've got in Nick Dock. But it was incredible.
Yeah, and Alan, as Carr was just mentioning there, some of the treatment of the Rangers players was, well, it was pretty poor. I would have, I was quite surprised how lenient the referee was. I mean, especially Jess Pegram. I mean, I lost count how many times in that half hour she was on the pitch that she got flattened. It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was very clearly a deliberate plan to target a young debutant in the team. Somebody new to the league, somebody who hasn't played much first team football. Every chance he got, they went round the houses and took a chance to leave on honour, making sure they were late, making sure the times they were high. 3 or 4 of them at least, and the referee could have clamped down on that and booked the first one, and it would have put a bit of a stop to that really early. But the referee never exerted their authority at any point in the game, so that was allowed to go unchecked. And I would maybe just have liked to see our team just show enough to get a wee bit of payback and maybe put a stop to it if the referee wasn't. But certainly I think, although Leanne took Jess off and protected her with a dead leg that she'd picked up, I thought she handled it really well and kept her composure very well, which is really encouraging to see for such a young player.
Absolutely, and I believe it was Demi. I think all 3 years maybe spoke to her after the game, and she said, "Oh, I'm fine. It's just a dead leg." So that was good to see, because it did look bad on the telly. You were watching it and you were fearing it was something worse, but thankfully it was just a dead leg. So that's a bit of good news. And Carr, although Celtic missed a clear-cut chance in that first half, so did we. Lizzie, I mean, wow, jeepers me! How do you explain that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great shot from Lizzie, to be fair, and she just put it a little bit wide, but I thought it was closer than it was at the game, and then I watched the highlights back and she was a little bit further away than more of an angle than initially thought. But yeah, probably should have been in the back of the net, but then there was a chance from Brogan that probably should have gone in. Jess had a great chance that probably should have gone in. So there was opportunities there we just couldn't figure it out. But I think that was the most frustrating one, with how close it was to half time. It really would have just sent us in happy that we'd finally scored, but just couldn't quite get there. And she looked gutted, bless her. Lizzie looked absolutely gutted that I didn't find the back of the net.
Absolutely. And, that enforced change, Demi, that was an unfortunate one, but Ailey Austin came on, and we'll speak about her later, but, slotted in nicely, didn't she?
Yeah, I thought she had a really good game, both defensively and sort of attacking. When Jess was going off, she looked raging to be taken off. I mean, she had just been kicked around the park for 30 minutes. And I mean, her face when she was coming off the pitch, I've never seen someone be battered so much and be so annoyed to be getting a break. So that's a positive in terms of her attitude, that despite what she had just been through in the half an hour prior, she was still fuming to have her game cut short. But yeah, when Ailey came on, we didn't look we didn't look any weaker. Obviously Ailey would have been probably a little bit gutted to not get to start that game, but yeah, she came on, and I thought that the strength at the back remained.
Absolutely, definitely. And Alan, 0-0 half time, you could probably argue was we probably shaded the first half as far as chances were. I mean, I know Celtic had a fantastic chance to score, but we had our handful of chances, and you could argue we should have been maybe ahead, but a bit unlucky to be 0-0.
I think you're probably absolutely bang on with that assertion that we shaded the first half. I think both teams had chances. I think our chances were probably a wee bit better, and we had the sort of better territory, even though we had a wee bit less of the ball. So I think particularly towards the end of the half, with Lizzie's chance that he spoke about and Brogan missing, I think Brogan would have liked to do better. We had a chance, it just went past the post. So at least glad we went in 0-0. I think Jen had a really, really good first half. everybody will always get a wee bit nervous when she takes the ball under pressure. And they clearly pressed her hard, but Jenna kept her cool at every point, even under a lot of pressure in the box, where it was with passbacks or crosses. So Jenna helped keep us in at 0-0 at half time, and it was a chance to regroup and then go again. And I think Ellie coming on, she settled down really quickly to the tempo of the game. Really hard to come on during the game and play centre back. It's not an easy position just to slot into, but she slotted in really well in half time, get a chance to regroup and then get ready to go again for a second half.
Absolutely. And Car, it was 63 minutes. Me and Macaulay finally got the breakthrough. You always felt it was going to be one of those games, Car, that the more chances we had and we didn't take, there was every chance that you knew what was going to happen, didn't you? They would go up the park and nick one, and that would be that. But thankfully, Katie Wilkinson down the right-hand side who squared it to Mia, and great finish in the top corner.
Yeah, I think at the game I initially thought Wilco might try and cut in and take a shot on herself, or try and pass it over to Lizzie, who was kind of further forward at that point. But I mean, great knowledge just to look, see Mia was there completely unmarked in the middle of the box and just give her the ball. All she needed to do is put it in the back of the net. Fantastic finish, as Mia's known for. And we're 1-0 up, and I think everyone was just more surprised than anything that we'd managed to actually to do that, as you say, because it just kept getting a little bit longer. You start getting a bit nervous, but we were doing well, and it's just a fantastic goal for Mia. She loves a goal in these games, doesn't she? She just really goes up. She hates them as much as we do, and she really relishes scoring against them.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And not a minute after Demi, Lizzie and Alice come off, on comes Laura Berry and May Cruft. Another two of the young team coming on, and we watched. I think Alan and Martin spoke about Maycroft last night on the boardroom. How good a player is this Maycroft?
Yeah, I mean, I think someone's just commented it, and I don't know if you've seen the comment that Julia Fleeting said on Sky yesterday, and that pretty much sums it up itself. But yeah, someone asked us last week if. Someone asked us, on the pod on Friday if we thought Maycroft was ready, and it was kind of a divided opinion. Half of us thought yeah, half of us thought maybe not. But I think yesterday she must have been watching. She came on and proved that she very much is ready. And yeah, I thought she had a brilliant game in there again, controlling the ball really well. Makes very clean passes. So yeah, it was good to see her come on and play so well yesterday.
My 16-year-old can barely empty a dishwasher, and there's Maycroft in the centre of midfield in the highest league in Scotland. I mean, Alan, from Julie Fleeting, that's extreme high praise. And as I think in commentary, or maybe it was you last night, saying that she had literally just turned 16. Yeah,
Martin had pointed out that she only turned 16 on Saturday, and we're just over a year from her first team debut when she was barely 15 years old. 15 years old in a few days. She made her debut in the Cup up at Dundee United, and we thought then we've got a player here. And not every player who looks at a breakthrough star at 15 will always go and make it, but May certainly is a great chance. We do really well with developing young players at our club. They're getting plenty of opportunity. So May signed a professional contract in the summer. She's been told she's part of the first team full time now. She won't be going on loan like a lot of our youngsters. She'll be there. She'll be involved. We've got quite a tight squad, so there's going to be opportunities for May to play. And as I said last night, a couple of times you could see a wee bit of youthful naivety. She maybe carried the ball too far. Should have made the pass earlier, but she's comfortable taking the ball under pressure, much like Kim was all game. She'll take the ball under pressure. She'll turn away from attention. She can hold on to the ball, under pressure and then go and pick a pass. She's not scared to make a tackle, and she's not scared of physicality. So there's a massive, massive upside to young May's game, but there's a long road ahead for her, and we make sure she keeps the right attitude and we develop her properly and responsibly. Then we've got a hell of a player on our hands.
Yeah, Car, I dare say to most people, Maycroft announced herself yesterday, but as Alan's saying, you guys knew about her way before a year ago. You know, you knew how good she was a year ago, but she's finally came to the attention of lots of people now. So it's going to be interesting to see how she handles that new sort of the next big thing sort of tag in the Rangers young team, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's played for England under 18s, 19s. Yeah, 19s, I think. She played for the Lionesses under squad, which I think has a lot of pressure attached to it as well. So I'm sure she'll be able to handle that pressure well. But I don't know what it is about our academy and rearing really good midfielders, but we just seem to be able to produce them on a conveyor belt. One's out and they come, we've got another one waiting in the wings to come back in. It's just crazy the talent that we've got. It's incredible, really, but she's really going to be something special. She already is something special, to be honest, but learning and a few goals behind it. I said to her after the game yesterday, you should have taken that shot on, because there was a point where she had the opportunity to take a shot and she just kind of passed the ball, and I wish she'd just hit it, because even if it had gone over, there's that chance that it could have, but that'll come and she'll learn. But to be just 16, literally playing an Old Firm the day after your 16th birthday and being as confident and having the belief in herself is just incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. As Julie Fleeting says, you know, a lot of 16-year-olds can't do many things, but you know, playing a game like that and just turned 16. I'm trying to remember what I was doing on my 16th birthday, and I can't remember doing anything as good as that. So, you know, it just shows you how good she is. But 79 minutes, Demi get we double the lead. The young team again, Mia taking a fantastic corner to the back post, and Ailey Austin at the back, capping off a great performance and getting a goal.
Yeah, I mean, the cross from Mia was, I don't think it could have been any more perfect, you know, if she had placed the ball above Ailey's head. So, you know, fair play for the cross. And, you know, Ailey made no mistake, made sure she was where she had to be, you know, sort of nobody seemed to notice that she was there at the back post. And yeah, you know, she makes no mistake and sends it home perfectly. You know, as we were all saying in the game yesterday, sort of ironic that, you know, she comes on and scores the second goal, because if they hadn't absolutely battered Jess off the park, she might not have come on, you know. So, yeah.
Great. I mean, Alan, I think you guys said it on the boardroom last night, you know, why can't the men take a corner like that? You know what I mean? It was perfect. I mean, it took the goalkeeper out of the game. She couldn't get to it. It was too high and swinging. It was in an awkward position for the goalkeeper. It basically eliminated her from trying to get to it and either punch it or catch it. And Ailey powered it in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. And if you listen to Ailey's interview with the club after the game, you know, she talked about that being an area of weakness that the team had spotted and had talked about leading up to the game. And you saw even in the first half, Lizzie was driving the corners into the back post. So they'd identified a weakness and actually took advantage of it. You know, Ailey said she'd said to Mia before she took the corner, I'll be free at the back post. And she went there, Mia's driven the ball right across to the back post, and there's Ailey belting a header and into the net. 2-0 to the young team, grown up Rangers fans, and you can tell by the celebrations they absolutely loved it every bit as much as we did in the stands. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, goodness me, it was a job catching Ailey. She was off. I don't know where. If they didn't catch her, I don't know where she would have ended up. She was off. You couldn't stop her. So yeah, absolutely. It was a great moment for her. You know, she was delighted doing her post match with Mia. You know, the two young ones doing a post match interview card. Mia. You can tell Mia's obviously a little bit more experienced. You know, she's played more games, but you know, such. They seem to have such old heads and young shoulders, don't they?
Yeah, and again, I think that comes from our academy. Whatever they're doing through the age groups, they've got them properly taught, I guess. Footballing knowledge and knowing where to be and how to play football. And it's not a case of just kicking the ball. They know they're smarter than that, which is, I don't know, maybe they're just really intelligent in a footballing sense, and we're just lucky that we seem to have collected a lot of them, or we're teaching them that. Either or, I don't know, but I mean, it could have been three of our young team. Laura Berry could have scored, and I had to get that in there because it's me and it's Laura Berry, but she should have probably scored. But for it to be the two young ones, Ailey coming on after 30 minutes after an injury and just as you say, the old heads on their shoulders, just to be smart about it and keep the head, not get frustrated by things, and to score the winning goals is just incredible from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end there, Conley Jackson and Camille Lefay coming on, Demi, for Katie Wilkinson and Mia McCauley. Katie looked a wee bit miffed going off, didn't she?
Yeah, you probably would be. You didn't score, and you're a striker, you didn't score. But fair play to Wilco, because I think ours, or at least certainly mine, my biggest gripe with Wilco last year, probably my only one to be fair, with Wilco last year, was that she was never really able to drop deep and sort of help back there. But I thought yesterday she looked really, really comfortable, and I think it's the first time we've sort of seen her look comfortable there, as well as sort of play really well there. So yeah, even though she was playing a bit deeper, you would be a bit annoyed if you're a striker being taken off, you've not scored a goal against your team's biggest rivals. So
yeah, absolutely. Is that fair, Alan, that Laura's maybe putting a bit too much pressure on herself to score? Hopefully she'll settle soon, score one or two and get the ball rolling. Do you think she's putting a wee bit too much pressure on herself?
100% I do. I think Laura Berry's got all the talent in the world, and Carl's quite right to have such a high opinion of her. I think we all do. But, Laura Berry's brought back on from a loan early in January, and not really given a lot of minutes. She was usually put on when we were chasing games, and she made a massive impact coming on against Hearts at Broadwood and got us back into a game. But she was getting minutes here and there, and the team were starting to struggle towards the end of last season, and just feeling a bit too much pressure, and listen, nobody will put more pressure on Laura Berry will herself. So I really think she needs one or two just to go in, and just get herself rolling, because I think if she gets her in the team, she will score goals. But she needs to get the first one or two in and just take a wee bit of pressure off and build some sort of belief in herself, because she's a supremely confident young player. I just think she's almost trying too hard at times. You could see her running through. Yesterday she was caught in 2 or 3 minds when she should really just have been bearing down and goal and getting shots away. Absolutely, definitely, totally agree. And the results, obviously, from yesterday's round of fixtures: Motherwell 4, Hamilton 1, Celtic 0, Rangers 2, Hearts 2, Hibs 0, Glasgow City 5, Montrose 0, and Aberdeen 1, Partick 1. So, Car, at the end of the day, Rangers are top. 10 points, 4 games played. Celtic, 4 games played, 9 points. Glasgow City, 3 games played, 9 points. Hearts, 4 games played, 7 points. And the champions Hibs, 3 games played, 6 points. So, obviously, Glasgow and Hibs have only played 1 game less, Car, but you got your top league so far. That's all that matters.
Well, yeah, especially after the start that we've had a draw and a couple of poor performances where we're starting to worry a little bit. I think that's perked everyone up, hasn't it? Got a bit of confidence and belief in the fans that, well, we've beaten them. They might not be good and we're not great either, but at least we've beaten them and we're top for now. We'll see what happens as we progress. A couple more players in the door, hopefully tonight. I doubt it at this point, but tomorrow, hopefully, sort us out, settle us down, and we'll be fine. But I guess it all depends how the City Hibs game goes once they play their European games, once they play their game in hand, see where we're at then at that point. But that could be a draw and that could help us again. But all we need to do is keep winning. It's a bit early in the season, I think, to be getting excited about being top of the league.
Absolutely. Yes, Hibs beating Hearts beating Hibs, Demi. Was that a great surprise, or was that one you could see coming?
I'd be lying if I told you what I predicted for that game. I can't remember. But like I said, sort of this time last week, I feel like results in these games you can't be sort of too shocked either way, because it's a once-off game and nothing else really matters. But no, I can't say I'm overly surprised. Hearts moved the game to Tynecastle, and Hearts have looked really well this season. They sort of struggled the tail end of last season, but they've got something right, and they've started this season really well. So yeah, it's not overly surprising.
No. And our very own Beep Bop Boop, I have to say that extremely slowly because I cannot say that very quickly. I'll take this to you, Alan. And I thought Leanne Crichton looked so much more calm, composed, and knowing what she was doing compared to Elena Sudoku yesterday. Is that, well, we've all seen firsthand what can happen to the Celtic manager. She can lose the tatty very quick. So, yeah, I wasn't at all surprised by that. Were you?
I think it's two managers quite fairly representing the clubs they're employed by. So I'll leave it as delicately as that. But Leanne Crichton's clearly a class act, and I'd expect nothing less for a representative of our club. Somebody that's grown up supporting our club and going to games, knows exactly what our club's about and the standards. So I very much look forward to seeing Leanne Crichton continue to represent our club with class like our players do.
Well said, Alan. Well said. I mean, Car, it's yeah. I mean, it was obvious that the time that we were there the last time, things weren't going well for the Celtic manager, and she was very animated on the pitch, and the hat was getting thrown, the jacket was, it was almost like watching somebody imploding right in front of your eyes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised she didn't get a card yesterday. She's always getting red cards or at least yellow cards when she plays us, but there was nothing yesterday. I don't know if she knows that her time's basically up and to just calm down, because she wasn't as animated, I don't think, as she normally was, well, or is against us, but by the judging of social media and their fans, they want rid of her, and I think they've wanted rid of her for a long time. I don't know the exact, I'm sure Alan knows the exact number of games that they've not beaten us in, but I think it's 11 or 12 now, 10?
Well, I saw Paul's comment about them not beating top teams for so long, and during the pod I had a wee look. They've beat Hearts a few times in the last year, but the last time they beat either City, us or Hibs was 18th of August last year when they beat Glasgow City 1-0. So they didn't beat us or Hibs at any time last season, and they've not beaten City since August last year.
Cheapers.
I think that tells you what state that their fans are in when it comes to their manager, but I don't know. I don't like to talk about them too much, but it's very being able to sing at her that she's getting sacked in the morning. But she hasn't been, so we were wrong, I guess.
Well, so far. It might happen yet, you never know. So next weekend's fixtures: Hibs versus Montrose, Partick at home to Rangers, Hamilton at home to Glasgow City, Hearts at home to Motherwell, and Aberdeen at home to Celtic. So Partick, Rangers, Demi, how do we see that one going?
Obviously I expect us to win, if we play like we did yesterday, I would expect there to be a bucket load of goals. So yeah, hopefully with another week to work together, obviously the windows before whether we do or don't sign people, the window will be closed, so we'll know the team that we've got for the season ahead. So yeah, hopefully with no more times. Sorry, I'm just reading the comment there. It was quite funny. Hopefully with no more players coming and going, she'll have time to sort of solidify the plan going forward with the players that she's got. But yeah, I'd expect it to be a fair few goals next weekend. You
share similar thoughts, Alan?
Yeah, Partick have lost a lot of players in the summer. They've obviously lost the manager. Brian Graham's moved on, so I think they're going to be in for a bit of a tough season. They'll still be resolute, they'll be well organised, but I think we'll go there with a big lift after yesterday. Hope for a couple of extra bodies in the door, and I think we'll go and score a few goals. Be nice to get a run of clean sheets as well, and I think I'll go for 7 and a debut goal for Shinji Kim.
Are you sad to see your pal Brian Graham go, Car?
Oh God, I had a wee cry about it. It was absolutely devastating. I didn't hate him that much. I just didn't really like him. He just didn't seem like a very nice person, to be honest. But I noticed that Ross went with him too, and then he joined another team, and he's now left that team as well. So I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. I don't even know who their new manager is. But yeah, I expect that we'll do okay. We should beat them quite comfortably. I would like us to be able to start other players. 4 of them that we've got able to play on the bench. But maybe a Laura Berry start, play her beside Mia McCauley, or Mia up front and Laura behind her might work out okay. We should have enough there, but I don't know. We don't have a lot of options at the moment, so we'll see who comes in the door, if anyone comes in. And Leanne seems to be making bold choices, so you probably be one that you can't really call again.
Yeah. Any a wee prediction?
I don't want to go too bold and then it'll end up being like 3-0 or something. 4. I'll say 4-0, and it'll be Laura Berry that scores first, because that's never going to change.
I'll say 7-0 and Mia to score first.
I'll go one more. I'll go 4. I'll go 4-0, and Camille Liffey. I think Camille must start tomorrow, hopefully. Well, I hope.
I hope she's not starting tomorrow, Brian.
Next weekend. Next weekend. So, yeah, absolutely. So that'll be us, folks. That is the Monday night over. So we will be back next Monday to look over the Partick versus Rangers.
Sorry, Brian. Sorry, Brian. Just before you go, I've got a comment from Ian Thompson. I need to bring in just before you go. So I'm going to bring this one in from Ian Thompson. Okay.
No problem. No problem at all.
Will's bringing that up. I'll answer Paul, or he's asking about Raf being available. I believe she's back running. Anybody that follows her on social media will have maybe seen a post about why she was out for a wee while. You know, she was struggling quite a lot last year and unable to train at times. So hopefully her operation in summer's properly got her on the mend. But we probably won't see Laura Rafferty or Leah Eddy until October at the earliest. Wow. I'd expect it'll be October around about maybe a time we play Hibs at Meadowbank by the time they're coming back in.
Yeah, well, that's a bit disappointing, but at the same time, as long as the operations go well and they come back fit and healthy, that's all that matters. Yeah, Demi, you've made a new friend, I hear.
Look, she said, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting that to go up there. No, she said it wasn't allowed to leave unless I got a picture with her. So, who am I to say no?
Absolutely. Well, there you go. New best buddies, BFFs, eh?
Wow. I like to have a picture, I like to have a picture with them. You never know when you might need it.
Well, this is very true. Inside scoop. Well, yeah. I think Alan and Cara, and I think all 3 of them could have the inside scoop. So yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, JD. Yeah, appreciate that. Very much appreciated. So, folks, that is us. That'll be us for the Monday night. As I say, we'll be back next Monday with the look back at the Partick versus Rangers game. I have had Car, Demi, and Alan with me tonight. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Absolutely. And we've had, obviously, Wilf doing the comments in the background, the producer. So thank you very much, Wilf, for doing all the behind-the-scenes stuff. As I say, have a good week, folks, and we'll speak very, very soon.